Lift of the airplane is what makes it go up. So the wing is shaped like this, and the faster, it has to have faster on the top and slower on the bottom, so that the wing goes faster on the top and slower on the bottom. And the slower, it has higher pressure, so it like lifts up, and the faster, it has lower pressure, so they won't have much weight on the plane. The higher angle of the lip, would they angle the thing right here, the wing, and it flies upward. It's like when it first takes off. So the higher pressure air pushes on the bottom of the wing, and result is lift. So it pushes on the bottom, and then it lifts up into the sky. The thrust of the airplane makes the airplane move forward. So the lift makes it go up, and the thrust makes it go forward. The thrust is, the thrust is the engine right here. So let's draw a little engine. The engine, it has stuff coming out of the back, and it like pushes. And Newton's third law, it says that the stuff coming out of the back, so every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The stuff coming out of the back makes the plane go forward. The drag of the airplane makes the airplane kind of go slower, if you say something. Because you know how they have like landing gear when they're like landing or taking off? They put it up because you want to keep the plane as aerodynamic as possible. And aerodynamic is the smoothness going around the plane. Like that, so kind of. So the air flows evenly through it, and if you have like something hanging out, the thing will just like, the stuff hanging out will get like ripped off or something. And the drag, it makes it go slower because the air is pushing on it, kind of making it go backwards. So you want to keep it aero so you can like cut through the air, and the drag is like pushing the air back, and then when it goes through, it like comes, the air stays back. And so the thrust makes it go forward, the lift makes it go up, and the drag kind of makes it go slower and resists the flowing through the air. The motion of the airplane is made up of 3 different things: roll, yaw, and pitch. The roll of the airplane is the rotation from the front to back axis. The roll is controlled by the ailerons and makes the plane tilt up and spin upside down. So kind of like this way. And then the yaw of the airplane is the rotation around the vertical axis. The yaw of the airplane is controlled by the rudder, and which makes the tail be able to change direction. So you want to go this way, you want to go this way. The pitch of the airplane is the rotation from the side to side axis. The pitch is controlled by the elevator. The elevator lets the plane change the direction of flight, increasing upward or decreasing downward. Like that. The friction of an airplane is everything pushing against it. So if you have a box and there's something air pushing against it, air pushing against it, air pushing against it. The gravity is an airplane, as to everything else. It pushes the plane down to the ground, but the lift is keeping the airplane up. It also has friction from the wind. So when the wind is hitting it, the friction it makes heat. So you know how like seen like Jimmy Neutron when they go in outer space and they're like roller coasters on fire or something? That's because the friction of the wind, and it's like hitting against the plane. And it's catching on fire because when you're cutting through, it's creating friction and heat, making the fire. There's also friction when you're landing, like the landing gear, and you're coming down the plane, and then the wheels, they're against the ground. They're going against the ground, and they have friction from the wheels to the ground. The air pressure of an airplane is determined by the height of the plane. When the plane is near the ground, the air particles are more compact because of the weight of the air above, so it's like pushing down. When the air gets higher in the air, it's easier to fly because there's not as much air, and the air gets smaller and more compact. And when it's hot, the air expands, gets lighter, rises, and creates a low pressure area. The airplane doesn't go so high because there is more pressure pushing down on the airplane, so it's hard to get up. When the airplane can go high, it is because there is less pressure pushing down on the airplane. So when there's heat, it's hard to get up there, opposed to when it's cold. It's easier because there's less particles compact together. Okay, so there's thrust on the airplane, making the airplane go forward. There's lift on the airplane, making the airplane go up. There's drag on the airplane that is making, like, it's harder to move forward. With the thrust, opposes that, and the thrust is stronger than the drag, so they have to make the thrust stronger than the drag to move forward. They also have the motion, which is the roll, yaw, and pitch, what makes it move side to side, change directions up and down, spin. They have the friction, which causes the heat against the thing, so they can't go too fast because it's going to catch on fire. And then they have the air pressure of the plane. So those are the physics of an airplane.
Flying airplane, yo.